is doing the Travel Channel now.
Hello once again.
Ski Channel, yeah.
Hi, this is Davey Davis with another Country Eastern show, and this week Country Eastern is in Windsor, Vermont, at the home of Arthur and Betty Davis, and I'm sitting here with some legends of skiing. Okay? Now, right off the bat, off to my left here is a good friend by the name of Robert Cochran. Now,
thanks for coming, Davey.
thank you. Thanks for having me, Robert. Now, listen, you were on the Olympic ski team, U.S. team, and what year was that? 42?
It was 43 through 44. During the war years.
Sorry, the only time they let people like him ski.
Now, you started skiing when you were...
But I'm retired now.
You're retired now?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you start skiing in Mount Scottney when you were just a wee babe?
That was a long time ago. That was during the war years, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. Your father had a place over on Dingleton Hill, and he was going to put in a ski area there.
Right. Yeah. He put half a ski area in there.
Half a ski area, and then...
he had the hill, but no toe.
Yeah. So when did you first put on a pair of skis?
A long time ago, Dave.
A long time. That's a good Vermont answer. A long time ago. I'll bet you were skiing when you were 3.
Could be. Could very well be.
It was a long time ago.
So, when you started really skiing competitively and making a name for that Cochran family, it was at Madonna, right, up north?
Well, we called it Smugglers back then.
Smugglers back then.
Yeah, then they called it Madonna.
And you raced in the Mid-Vermont Council? Or
we
Northern
called
Vermont?
it, no, we raced in the Northern Vermont Council.
That's right. We were in the Mid-Vermont Council in those days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, who was the best skier in the family?
Well, I was the best male skier in the family.
Really, that's good.
That's even better. That's good. I like that one.
What was your...
So who's the best female skier?
Yeah.
That's so I'm killing you.
I'm not going to answer who was the best skier, but...
Even though you know full well.
Yeah, right.
So what was it like back in those days on the U.S. ski team?
What was it like? Well, we didn't make any money, but it was fun.
You didn't do a lot of endorsements? Endorphins?
We did a lot of endorphins.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I don't know, we did a lot of begging a couple of years. I remember one year when Billy Kidd he was world champion that year.
Yeah.
And the ski team had a contract with Head. So Head gave us all the sweaters that they couldn't sell. So it's sort of like going to Filene's.
Yeah.
Those are our sweaters that year. So we started begging. We went around to all the ski companies in France and actually got some nice stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think Head ever forgave us.
What was your favorite, the downhill?
Well, the Windsor Slalom was my favorite.
The Windsor Slalom? West Windsor Slalom.
West Windsor Slalom.
Yeah, there you go. West Windsor Slalom at Mount Scottney. Yep. How's that compare to Kitzbühel?
It's just about as steep. It's not quite as long.
Not quite as long,
Not
but
quite as long, but it's just about as steep.
what about the...
The crowds are probably better at West Windsor.
Crowds are better?
Yeah.
Not so hostile to you Americans.
Yeah.
Now you skied, you had a good friend by the name of Karl Schranz, who was an Austrian legend.
Well, he was my friend. I wasn't really his friend.
Did he talk much?
He did, actually. He talked a lot.
He did.
Yeah, after he got older. You couldn't understand him. But,
He spoke a little bit of English.
he spoke a lot.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he was funny.
He was. You had his respect, as I recall, because you were quite an up and coming downhiller.
Boy, this line of bullshit is great.
You're so modest, I'll tell you. Bobby Cochran is just one modest individual, but he was one of the finest downhillers in the world. I forgot what year that was, but it was
44.
44. Huh? You were still using wooden skis back then.
Yeah.
Well, we were actually.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you on the ski tour?
Yeah.
Not sexiest thing. Not
Hopefully they're not the same.
God, I can't remember any funny things in teaching.
Nothing really funny. Any pranks? Who was the prankster?
Well, Tyler Palmer was a prankster. Duncan Coleman was a prankster.
Yeah. They were out in New Hampshire.
Yeah, they were out of New Hampshire. Well, Duncan was out of, I think he was out of Mars, actually. But Duncan was in his own.
Yeah, I've always heard about Duncan being quite
Yeah.
a wild character.
Tyler too, actually.
Well, Tyler,
He
yeah.
dropped.
Duncan,
did
the
a
last
noble
year,
job.
I think it was the last year of the Inferno
Oh, up at Washington.
at Tuckerman.
Yeah.
Duncan won it, but Duncan had been training all week. You know, he lived up there in some little igloo or something. But to get ready for the race, he shaved his head.
Aerodynamics.
Well, with his left hand. I don't know. He'd hurt his right hand or something. So he shaved it. So he
So the left side of his head was shaved.
and he covered it with his hat until the Boston Globe photographer came to take his picture. Yeah. His cuts, his little something.
Did you guys run that like Tony Matt?
No, we didn't.
So you had gates?
We were a little bit faster. What?
You were fast?
No. We had gates. We had gates.
You did have gates.
Yeah.
You had control
No.
gates?
Yeah. But we it was a downhill until the headwall, and then we had control gates.
Yeah.
But
What-
no, we didn't. I can't imagine doing it.
That's, I was going to say, can you
Did he
imagine?
go straight down on that?
It went straight down. But he
1939.
didn't. Yeah. I don't know. And he didn't want
In
to do
deep
it.
powder, maybe?
No.
No.
Like good deep.
He said it.
He wore brown pants for that one, though.
Well, he had the gabardine. They
Yeah.
certainly were brown after he came out of the transition. Bob Ely was there, and he said he just remembered the sound of the gabardine pants flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
Bob Ely was there.
Bob Ely was there, yeah.
You saw that?
Yep. And I was up at Tuckerman's in '89, and with John Bascom and Larry Grace, and I was sitting down having lunch, and this big gentleman, white-haired gentleman, sat down next to me, and this film crew was sitting right opposite, and they were filming and asking this guy questions, and suddenly I realized it was Tony Matt. It was 1939. It was 50 years later after the great run over the Inferno, and I was just in awe, but I remember him saying, I had to let him run. He kind of caught his edge up there. And
Yeah,
he
I
had
got no
choice.
chance.
I had to let him run. He said it was like going through a plowed, like a furrowed field in that transition. He was going about, well, I guess 85 or 90. So you up there, how fast were you going when you were there on modern day equipment? He had wooden skis and
Yeah, we weren't going 60 on that.
yeah.
Nowhere near.
Yeah, but nevertheless, if you fell, you're probably going faster than you were steaming down.
Oh, yeah.
If you went down with a head while sliding.
You would have missed the gate. Yeah. Yeah.
Now what about this this fellow over here on my right? We call him Stick.
Stick, yeah. That's what they call him in Austria, too.
In Austria, they know him as Stick.
They call him Mr. Stick.
Mr. Stick.
Yeah.
Mr. Stick lives in Brownsville, and I don't know. When you were 13, you were the #1 skier on the East Coast,
Yeah,
I
I
believe.
think so.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Well, we're
We're only skiing against people from Pennsylvania, so we don't know.
Now, you were skiing against some good competition, and you certainly were quite a skier. As a matter of fact, I remember just a few years ago at Mount Scottney, we used to have the Thursday Classic,
Yeah.
and you were right in there with the best of them. All those good skiers. We're talking about Peter Carter. He was quite a skier, wasn't
Right. Peter. I didn't remember Peter being up there. I don't know. Yeah, that was back in the old days. Back when I was fireman, I guess.
Yeah.
Peter was there.
Yeah. And that was it was fun. Back when Bonesy ran the event, it was, as far as I was concerned, it was.
Speaking of Bonesy,
I
there
don't
he
think
is.
we'll ever get it back again.
There's another legendary skier right there.
Yeah.
We call him Eddie Bones French, and
Some of us call him Dr. Mo.
Dr. Bones.
Yeah.
Went on to get my degree.
What do you have for a degree in skiology or?
Medicine,
Aren't
brain.
you a neurosurgeon? Yeah.
Didn't you guys win a big race over at Pat's Peak or
Oh,
something?
Jesus Christ.
Not long ago?
Well, it was a political event, wasn't it, Bones Day? We just
I'm not sure what that was. We're still waiting for our skis to come on out.
Would they cry foul when the fellas from West Windsor won that event?
Well, it was close. We didn't take our second run, I don't think, did it? Yeah, it was different.
I think we put our second ski on.
Well, we'd all like to see Mount Scottney open again so we could relive the old days maybe. I don't know if
It
you
would be nice to see it,
Bring
just
those days
to
back,
see it rejuvenate. Of course, we all, Bonesy and Bobby and you Arthur, we all grew up there.
Yeah,
You know, we
That's
got
our
to
home.
ski there, and terrible to see it down.
yeah, sure is. Hopefully it'll be back.
Hope it won't.
Now that was something back in the Olympic thing. Barbara Ann, your sister, won the gold medal in 1972 in Sapporo. Now you skied there
Yeah.
because I was watching you on television.
Yeah, you bum.
Well, you had 2 runs, right? And the first run you were in the top.
No, the first one I fell
Oh, you did. I thought it was the
Yeah.
second one. Okay.
from here to Kellyanne.
Yeah, from the finish.
From the
Yeah.
finish.
From the finish.
But you were gonna finish in the top 10 with that run.
Yeah. Well, I always say I would have been second, but
It was, yeah,
second
it
or
was
third.
bad.
Seemed like you had a real good run.
Yeah, I did.
Did you hurt your ankle on that fall?
No, I hurt my pride.
You broke your goggles is what the goddamn problem was.
You caught your goggles, didn't you, the gate?
Yeah,
So-
I say I needed one of those helmets like they have now.
Yeah.
Slalom helmets.
You were way ahead of your
Hey,
time,
you were way
Bobby.
ahead of your time. Yeah.
You know, you want to ask him a question. Ask this guy about being the combined. Let's say you were the combined champion over in
Pittsfield?
That's you got. You know, if this guy's in Europe, he's the greatest legend of all time. You know, he's a hero. And here he is sitting in our living room. He's nothing. You know,
Yeah.
he's just a regular old Joe.
You did okay on the pro tour, too.
I don't know.
That was in 54, though.
That was 54, yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
I was
That's right.
racing with Billy.
Well, that was Korean.
Little Stilson.
Back when all the guys were in Korea, you could ski for us.
Yeah, that's
That was in Georgia.
Bill
too.
Stilson sitting in with us, another legend from West Windsor, remarkable man. He's only, 35 years old?
Today, 35 today.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
We got it all from Bill. Of course, we're all related. I forgot to mention that. What was the most terrifying or intimidating downhill that you ever came across? I remember you telling me it was either Kitzbühel or...
I think it was Kitzbühel. I remember that the first time at Kitzbühel it was pretty terrifying, and the first year I ran it, we hadn't run Kitzbühel for a couple of years because of snow, so they had to start partway down, and it was sort of like getting in a bobsled run. Once you started, you couldn't stop. The thing I always remember about Kitzbühel was after our training, we'd go up and inspect the course. So you'd throw some crappy old pair of skis on and slip down, you know. And there's one part called a style hum, which means ice wall.
Oh.
I always love that. And there was one part of it that you try to inspect, and it was so steep and icy that you couldn't stop. You just had to slide until, you know, it's like sliding down this cliff until you found a little patch of snow, and then you could come to the top. But we'd ski over it, and skiing that fast, you could.
How fast are you going when you hit that spot?
You know,
Was it a transition kind of spot where you just...
well, I think the first 60 seconds at Kitzbühel were as hard as any course I ever ran, and it was just non-stop. You know, I remember. If you look at the start at Kitzbühel, it's very steep, and you go out of the start, and I remember the first time going out of it, I said, "Geez, I mean, no one's going to pull out of that start, you know, and you're just going to try to hang on." But then you go out of the start, and you make this one little turn, and then you drop off. You know, on the start.
Pray to God that...
Yeah. But the fun thing about Kitzbühel is when you finish, Kitzbühel, the finish is real wide, but it's fast. That's the fastest part of the course. You're going down 85 or 90, I guess. And you can almost hear the people, because Kitzbühel is like, the Fenway Park used to be. And, it's this huge event every year, and there are 50,000 Austrians just yelling, in whatever they say in German. I don't know what they're saying. You just come through, and you have probably, you have a quarter mile to stop. And I always remember Keeley, because Keeley was the master of that. Keeley was a good racer, but he was even better after he went through the finish. Because there's a way to stop. If you're someone, if you're nobody, you go through the finish, and all you can do is just put them sideways, and just hope you stop before the fence. But Keeley would stand up and he put in a couple times.
Did you get to ski with him at all?
A little bit,
You
yeah.
did?
I raced pro against him.
You did?
Yeah, that was fun. He was a good guy. He was a really nice guy.
Quite a skier.
He was a very good skier.
Boy, he really revolutionized some of that stuff early on. He just was going so much faster than everyone else. Other than you guys, of course.
Maybe 2, 3.
Yeah, he was unbeatable at one point.
Yeah. Well, 3 gold medals in '68.
So he raced here in Franconia in '67.
He did.
Yeah, the first World Cup in the U.S. was in '67.
First World Cup in the
In
U.S.
Franconia, yeah.
He did that.
I see, that was a huge crowd that year. I was talking to one of the state police that came up to cover it, and they said it was almost as bad as the motorcycle races.
Oh, at
Loud.
Loud, yeah.
Dude, that's a great. That's a compliment.
I thought so.
Well done. One of the characters I was always interested in was Spider Savage. Now, he had an affair or was married to the young French.
Well, not young French, old French.
She was.
Claudine was pretty old.
Now, be
she was
careful.
an older woman.
We won't talk
Not
about
as old as us. But
Yeah, we won't talk about how old she was. Claudine Langer,
Claudine, yeah.
is that her name, huh?
Yeah.
That was an intriguing episode. That, she ended up shooting Spider. Was that it?
She ended up, call it what you want.
Yeah.
He's not with us anymore. If you ask his father, he wouldn't call it shooting, he'd call it murder. But
Yeah. And you knew Spider fairly well, didn't you?
yeah, I remember having breakfast with him that week before. And he was sort of trying to make a comeback. I don't know if he'd been injured or what, but he hadn't been doing as well. Because he was the first star of pro racing in the U.S. He and Keeley.
Yeah.
And I think in '72, he and Keeley had this big battle. Maybe it was '73, but he'd gotten, he was way down, and then he was trying to make a comeback.
He was on his way back.
He was. And that next week, it was in Aspen? That was in Aspen, yeah.
Was she married to the singer?
Andy, yeah.
Andy Williams?
Andy Williams.
Andy
yeah.
Williams, yeah.
And then she ended up, I heard she ended up with a district attorney that defended her or something in Aspen.
That was like a mother.
I like talking about it now.
You heard it first, huh?
There you go. That's the story. 20 years later.
Well, now that as long as we're into this kind of mode, let's talk about Bob Beatty.
Oh, I can't talk about that.
Not on tape.
No, you're not going to.
Oh, he's a real
He's
nice
from
fellow.
Manchester originally. Manchester, New Hampshire, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Bob's a big buddy of yours. He sent you to Colorado, was it? NASCAR?
Yeah.
So, Bob,
That's
you go
right.
back here.
Yeah, we
4 or
go
5
back
years.
a ways, yeah. Miller Lite. Yeah, that was a...
Actually, you know, we've talked about skiing this whole time, and we haven't talked about your
That's
skiing
right.
prowess.
Let's talk about the
Was it
legend.
Let's talk about the
Let's talk
Davis
about the
legend.
bark eater legend.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still spitting bark. I've definitely hit a few trees. And,
Now, you've laid out a lot of trails on Mount Scottney.
yeah, I got about probably 50 kilometers up there, and that's a great mountain to ski cross country if you want to ski it.
What percent of your trails are skiable?
What a great question.
I love it.
Depends who's skiing it.
Depends.
Most people said only about 5%, but we kept them down in the low country if they couldn't handle it. Most of them couldn't. We had a lot of backcountry bashes up there in the cabin. I don't know if any of you fellas are up there or not.
Yeah, we did. What was that trail?
I hadn't run up there.
Up in the hardwoods, probably the Twisted Sister. No, the Mad Sister, after Mad River Glen. We did have the E-Bone Chute. We named it after this legendary skier once again, Eddie Bones. The E-Bone Chute, that's a nice one. Nice trail. And well, there was only 1 year that we could ski it, 86, 87. That's the only year we got snow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pinatabo apparently has helped us out, though we're supposed to get a lot of snow this winter. You know, let's.
I think that's my new theory on the ice age is that periodically we have these volcanoes, and now we're starting to head into an ice age again.
Good.
Yeah, there'll be a whole series of volcanoes.
Well, I'll be darned.
Great.
Thank you, Bob.
We're gonna go to National
Dr.
Park.
Bob. Now you practice medicine now as well.
I practice, yeah.
That's the right word?
I practice is that word.
Now,
It doesn't show in Walpole, does it?
yes. Now remember, if you have any.
Is there an editor that we can talk to?
No, I've talked to some of your patients.
Actually, I'm retired now. Yeah.
Now, your mom and dad, Mickey and Gingy, my aunt and uncle, run the Cochran Ski Hill up in
Yeah.
Richmond, Vermont. Now that's a famous little ski area.
It's famous in Richmond, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's pretty well known down here in Brownsville.
Is it?
Yeah, actually, one of
It's
Windsor
still
right now.
open, you know.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing about it.
How many years will this year mark? What year?
Let's see. 61, so.
Has it been 61?
Well, so 31, 32, this is our 32nd year.
31.
32nd.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long.
Bonesy.
Isn't that something?
It's amazing.
It is, I never
Yeah, isn't that something? I remember going up there as a kid, chasing those guys around, and man, just unbelievable.
That's where you picked up a lot of stuff,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. And if I was going to be a ski racer out of Scottney, I'd been long gone
Yeah.
by the time I got chasing up the Cochrans, and just run gate.
That's back in the old days when we had snow.
You didn't worry about. You were worried about packing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
You were worried about
And the
skiing
water
it.
Yeah.
There was no question, no snow there.
So you've had some good skiers pass through the Cochran Hill.
Well, we
A lot of the U.S. guys came in.
actually there was a period where we had a lot of U.S.
Yeah.
skiing there.
Yeah.
Growing up skiing there.
And your dad was a coach. My uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncle.
Uncle Mickey was the coach in the U.S. ski team for 1 year.
Yeah.
Too much politics, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was way too much politics. He wasn't cut out to be a politician.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we need right now.
It seemed like it took a long time, as I remember. You guys, you and your sisters were undoubtedly as good as any skiers in the U.S., and it took a long time for anyone to acknowledge that fact they could get on the U.S. ski team. Now,
I don't know. I don't think it was that way.
you don't? I just always had that impression that.
I think, well, my sister, Marilyn, probably, if,
But it was very late at night, I think, that when it happened. But,
yeah, I guess it was after
I
midnight.
can remember the picture of you and Chip, Rick.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Well, there you have it. Anybody like to say anything before we go? We're at Arthur and Betty's house, and Arthur and Betty Davis in Windsor, Vermont. And we've been talking with some of the legends of skiing. There's Betty Davis, she's hiding, and Sharon Clifford's over there. And Sharon's from Charlestown. This goes out to Charlestown, First Carolina Cable. Eddie Bone French right there. And we've been talking with Dr. Robert Cochran, former U.S. ski team member. I'm Davey Davis with Country Eastern. Jim Farrell, we call him Stick. And Bill Stilson.
We call him Bill.
We call him
Call him whatever you want.
Thank you for coming in.